Agute Bach Shavua Tov. Welcome to the Daily Tanya. It is Motzei Shabbos Slichos. We're getting ready soon to Farbrengen at 10:30 in the Chabad house, and followed by 1 o'clock Slichos. So if you get the message on time, please come over to the Chabad house. We have a great Farbrengen and getting ready to say the Slichos and get Hashem's forgiveness and the closeness of Hashem. So, it is the 25th day of Elul, and today we begin chapter 19 in Egeret Hakodesh. This chapter, the Alter Rebbe goes in deeply to explain what the Torah is all about. The Torah that was given us through Moshe Rabbeinu. In the Torah you have stories, you have very laws that are very simple laws that seems to be dealing with very simple materialistic things, and yet in the Torah there is the depth, the light of Hashem Himself. And the Rebbe begins by explaining the level of the prophecy of Moses, Moshe Rabbeinu. And we're talking about the depth of Hashem, the depth of the Torah. In the Torah, God says to Moshe, you will see my back part, but my inner part, my face, that you cannot see. There's things, there's levels that Moshe Rabbeinu cannot see, cannot appreciate, cannot grasp. And Alter Rebbe explains what it says from the Arizal, the book Lakutei Torah from the Arizal, Rabbi Yitzchak Luria. He explains that Moshe Rabbeinu did not grasp, he did not reach to the levels of Panimius of Chachma of Atzilus. And certainly not Keser. Now what is this? If you remember the different levels, there's the four worlds, Atzilus, Beria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. In each world you have the 10 spheres. Chachma is the highest, the wisdom, the point of the revelation from above. Keser, there is a crown, which is even above it. And in each sphere, you have the inner part and the external part. Just like Chachma, you have the Chitzonius Chachma and the Vepnimius Chachma, the external part of the Chachma and the inner part of the Chachma. The inner part of every sphere is something that is for yourself. It does not go out. What goes out, what you can relate to the outside, this is only the external part. Like a great genius, for example, has a brilliant idea in his mind. The Chachma is very, very brilliant. But what you can take out in words is only the external part of it, not the very essence. And certainly a person is not capable of understanding, is not going to be able to appreciate the depth. Or for example, when you see a sight, you see a beautiful painting, gorgeous and very unbelievable painting, and you're so inspired by it. And you want to explain it to someone who doesn't understand, doesn't see it. You're going to explain with words. What can you explain? Not the inner part, the external part. And there's layers and layers. Intellect has layers that goes down to the emotions also, which is affected by the intellect, but it's still more and more condensed. And the Alter Rebbe explains here what the Arizal says, that Moshe Rabbeinu, his understanding, he reached the level not of the Chachma of Atzilus, only the Chachma, the way it went down through the emotive attributes. That light that is in the emotive attributes, once it went down from level to level, there he was able to grasp. And Alter Rebbe ends up with a question. How come Moshe Rabbeinu was the greatest prophet of all? He was not able to grasp something which the Arizal himself discusses about the levels of the higher levels. we leave it with a question. But sometimes it's good to leave things with a question. You grasp things, and we get to the answer in the next lessons. So let's see inside what the Alter Rebbe says, chapter 19 in Igeret Hakodesh. And the Alter Rebbe begins with the verse that says in Tehillim, Oite oyer kasalma v'geimer. He wraps himself with light as with a garment. Now this verse, wrapping himself with light as with a garment, refers to the Torah. The garment is certainly something which is exterior, but within the garment there is the light, the internal light. So he wraps himself with light as with a garment. In other words, what he's saying here is that when you study Torah, yes, you have the garment of it, the external part, but within that garment, you have the light. In every story of the Torah, in every mitzvah of the Torah, in every nuance of the Torah, there's always there the inner light of Hashem. Continues the Alter Rebbe by saying what the Arizal says regarding the grasping, the what Moshe Rabbeinu grasped and apprehended. So it says, in the Belikutei Torah shel Arizal, Parshas Kisisa, or Parshas Vayikra, Kasav, Ki asogas Moshe Rabbeinu olav hasholem, lo yhoisa b'bchinas pnimius the Chochmah Ilah. In the Likutei Torah of Rabbi Yitzchak Luya of blessed memory, Parshas Kisisa, and the Parsha Vayikra, the two places, it is stated that Moses, our master, peace to him, he did not apprehend the pnimius of supernal chachma. He didn't apprehend the most inward and profound level of the internal, of the supernal chachma, the supernal wisdom, which is the chachma of Atzilus. Anikra Abba Atzilus, which is called Abba of Atzilus. Abba means a father, because chachma and bina are like a father and a mother. The father gives the idea, the drop, the mother takes it and develops it. The bina is the understanding, the grasping and processing of the idea. So that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't grasp. And certainly if he didn't grasp the level of Chachma Batzilus, he certainly didn't grasp the level of Keser. Keser is the crown, which is even higher than the Tzfiris of Atzilus. V'kol shekem b'Tzfiris HaKeser shelemayla mimena anikra arich ha'anpin. And for sure, he did not, the sphere of Keter called arich anpin that transcends Chachma. What did he grasp? What did Moshe Rabbeinu apprehend? Says the Alter Rebbe, Ke'im, quoting the Arizal, Ke'im b'bchinas acharayim the Chochma mislapshim bebina. Rather, Moses apprehended as far as acharayim, the exterior levels of Chachma, which are vested in bina. So the exterior level of Chachma, again, the Chachma is the beginning of everything, which contains the essential point and which is too powerful, too intense to be revealed. Only a part of it, the external part of it, is being processed and being enclosed and vested in the level of Bina. Bina is the processing attribute. And then which in turn, that external part of Chachma, which is vested in Bina, so in turn is vested in the 7 lower Sephiros, collectively called Ze'er Anpin, meaning the small countenance. This refers to the 7 emotive attributes. Soida Torah, this is the mystic principle of the Torah. The Torah is what carries everything through all the levels. Moreover, supernal Chachma extends to the end of the 4 lowest Sephiros, which are Shein Netzach, Hoid, Yesod, Malchus. These are the 4 lower levels of the attributes. And we explained in the previous lessons about those are the attributes, the way They come not just a feeling for yourself, but the way the attributes, the emotive attributes relate to the outside. So this is again the process of the prophecy, and that goes down level to level, and only there, after all of these processes, Moshe Rabbeinu is able to grasp his prophecy. ושם oisen nevuose b'chinas pnimius, deinu b'chinas pnimius, the netzach od yesod malchus. There, Moses' prophecy apprehended the pnimius, the inner dimension of netzach, hod, yesod, and malchus. His function is to bring about the descent of the loftier sephiras within the worlds that are below Atzilus. אבל למעלה מנצח הוד יסוד מלכוס, לא יהיה לו שום השגה בפנימיוס, כי אם בבחינת אחריים לחוכמה ולבושם בבינה, המלובשר שמספשט דרך פנימיוס, דנצח הוד יסוד מלכוס. However, his apprehension did not extend to the pnimius of the levels of divinity transcending Netzach Hod Yesod Malchus, but only to the Achoraim, the external aspect of Chachma, which is vested in Bina, as we just said, which in turn is vested in and extended within the pnimius of Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malchus. And that is called Besed Noivlois Chachma Shelemayla Teira. This is the mystic principle underlying the teachings of the Medrash, that the Novlois Chachma, the withered vestige of supernal Chachma, is Torah. So what is left, the Novlois, is in the things that drop, meaning the Torah is not the undistilled essence of the supernal Chachma, only a pallor dilution of this can find actual expression in the revealed aspect of the Torah. Shibchinas Ze'er Ampin. On the level of Ze'er Ampin, which means Ze'er Ampin means the little phase, and diminished and finite as explained above. And this is what says the Alter Rebbe, this is what it says in the Torah. Hashem says to Moshe, you will see my hind part, my back part, not my inner part. Thus it is written that God said to Moses, you shall see my back. The Achoraim suggesting the hinder and external aspect of divinity. But my face, which is in Hebrew panai, suggesting pnimiyut, the inner, the frontal or inward aspect of divinity, that shall not be seen. Ayin Sham Bashar Nevuah Perik Aleph, says the Alter Rebbe, see there in Likutei Torah from the Arizal, and in Sha'ar HaNevuah, chapter 1. And here comes up the question the Alter Rebbe is asking, what does that mean? How come the Arizal says Moshe Rabbeinu did not grasp those levels of Chachma and Keser and all these levels? We know Moses was the greatest prophet of all time. The Torah says there was never a prophet as great as Moses. And yet, we find that the Arizal himself, he was teaching about those great levels. Now this seems surprising. After all, it is said there rose no other prophet in Israel like Moses. How then did Rabbi Yitzchak Luye of blessed memory apprehend more ואיך הריזל יויסר ממנו ודורש כמה דרושים מבחינס פנימיוס אפילו בספירס מדרגס רבויס שלמעלה מהחוכמה וכסד אצילוס. How then did Rabbi Yitzchak Luye of blessed memory apprehend more than Moses? And he expounded at many themes dealing with the pnimius, even many spheres and levels that transcend chachma and keter of atzilus. That is where we remain with the question. But again, the whole chapter is the Alter Rebbe wants to lead us to understand and appreciate the depth of the Torah. That there is light, no matter, even though we deal with material things, it is godly, the spiritual light that carries through every part of the Torah. And that's why it is so important. Every detail in the Torah is so important. This is the end of the day shir, and Ksiva b'chasim l'teva, a good gebench, and hopefully I can see you by Farbrengen and Slichis, 10:30 Farbrengen, and 1 a.m. Slichis. Shavua Tov.